Welcome back to Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. Today I want to talk to you about McCalls 7948 Simple Elegance. This is a collaboration that I have done with Katinka from the Seamstress at the Cottage, and I will link her channel below. And after you watch this video, I hope that you will go and watch Katinka's if you haven't already. Or if you're here because you watched Katinka's video, thank you so much for coming by. So this pattern, I'm going to go ahead and show you. McCalls 7948. I know a lot of people have made this pattern. I've seen a lot of online reviews about this pattern. And I have even made this pattern. Not this view. But I had made a linen version of this with the pleats, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so. And I also made it in a lightweight cotton version. And both of those I made, I think, a size 16 and graded out to an 18 at the hip. And both of those were big on me. They were too big, really. I had too much fabric up here, had a lot of fabric kind of bunched up around the waist area, so I don't think they were as flattering. So this time I decided that I would measure carefully, measure the pattern pieces carefully, and I did that. I really love this pattern, and I see why so many people have made it. It's easy to wear, it's easy to sew, but this time I think there's no think about it. This is my favorite version. This is the prettiest and also fits me the best of any version I've ever made. This has the gathered skirt. I made view, I guess I made view D. I was going to put one tier on the skirt. I decided to be really careful and measure my fabric and take my time, and I did so. And I knew I had enough fabric to do view D. I wanted to make the longer sleeves and put the little ruffle detail at the bottom, maybe. And then I wanted to do a tier at the bottom. So when I started cutting out the pieces, I went ahead and cut out the bodice, and before I cut out the sleeves, I just started fooling with the fabric and straightening it out, and I saw that I had a run in a portion of the fabric, and I panicked a little bit because I knew I couldn't get any more of this and didn't have any more and didn't have enough to do the tier. So what I wound up doing was just the short sleeves. I did version D with short sleeves and just one tier for the skirt. So I didn't put like a bottom tier or anything on it. So it's a little bit shorter than I had envisioned. I wanted it to be really kind of a midi length and kind of that simple elegance that Katinka and I had talked about. But after my fabric didn't cooperate, I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead with it and I'm going to do this. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I love the pattern. The changes that I did make to this pattern, I made this time a size 14. And like I said, I had made a size 16 in the past. This time I raised the armholes by 1 inch and did a forward shoulder adjustment. Now I would say that has worked out well because the shoulder seams are sitting right on the top of my shoulders. I probably could take another ½ inch and raise the sleeves toward the bodice a little farther. I think that would be the only difference because they do sit about ½ inch off my shoulder point. But other than that, it's very comfortable, and I just love the way it looks and the way it fits. And also, the fabric that I chose is a rayon linen blend. And the reason I chose it was, first of all, because I thought I had enough to do the version that I wanted to with the long gathered skirt and a tier. But another reason, the rayon in the fabric, keeps it from wrinkling quite as much as regular linen would. And I didn't have any, I had one piece that I think is 100% linen, but this one is just such a pretty fabric in the print, and I thought it, with this ivory background, I think it looks simply elegant. Katinka and I had talked about it and how sewing builds community, and you know, I feel like we watch each other's videos, we see each other talking about our makes, and you know, we spend a lot of time together in many instances. There's YouTubers that I've been watching for years, and way before I ever thought about trying to start my own channel or talking about my own experience sewing. So you feel like you already know these people, and when I got the opportunity to talk to Katinka, it was as though I had known her for years. It was so easy to talk to her. She sounded the exact same on our talk as she does when she's doing her videos. So it allows us an opportunity to come into other people's sewing space and to share the fails and the success. And so it just gives us a community. You know, I don't have a lot of people in my life that sew. Maybe two or three people that sew that I actually physically know. So, and a lot of that, and I do know a lot of quilters, but people who sew clothing, there's not that many. So, in order to talk about it, or to ask questions, or to get help when I have a problem, or share something that turned out really well, this is where I come to do that, on my YouTube channel. So thank you for being my community, and thank you to Katinka for allowing me the opportunity to do a collaboration with her. I did sew from my stash. I have quite a bit of fabric. Most of it I have bought over the past 10 years or so. In one of my early videos, I talked about it, but my mom and dad both had gone blind from macular degeneration. And so I spent a lot of time going back and forth to take care of them. You know, just it kind of grew over the years, the amount of time they needed. So I still had that desire to sew. And some days I would just come in and be worn out and just start looking at my phone and find a sale at Fabric Mart, or a sale at Mood Fabric, or a sale at Cali Fabrics or something, or a piece of fabric would pop up that I really liked, or an email. And so I would buy fabric even when I wasn't able to sew very much. So I did accumulate quite a bit. And for years, I only used cotton. I was terrified of sewing knits. And after I learned to use a serger and learned the benefits of that, I started sewing knits. So that was a whole new rabbit hole to go down. But now that I have more time to sew, I'm going back and falling in love with these fabrics all over again. I don't buy nearly as many now because I don't need any. Sometimes there will be something that really catches my eye, or I'll want a piece for a very specific project, and maybe I will buy a piece. Or if somebody wants to get me a birthday present or something, I'll say, well, I want fabric, and they'll just say, well, you know, order it, or tell me what it is, and I'll order it. So that, you know, that's how I'm now shopping from my stash. I'm using what I already have instead of going out and purchasing more. But not to say I don't ever do that. And also patterns. You know, I use mostly the big 4, big 5, but I am branching out more into the independent patterns, especially Love Notions. I've really enjoyed them, and their patterns really fit me well. And there's several others, but basically I use Butterick, McCalls, Simplicity. I have a few Vogue, but I've always been a little intimidated with them, so mostly I used McCalls and Simplicity are my favorites, and then Butterick. But this dress has been a joy, and I just think I think it fits me better than just about anything I have. And I put just the little keyhole opening in the back, and I just put a little pearl button to close it. But I got my daughter to come down the other day, and she fixed my hair, and we went out and took pictures and all that. So I really wanted this to be kind of a special video, and I just again wanted to say thank you to Katinka for allowing me to do this this collaboration with her. And I hope that you all enjoy seeing what we've made. And again, if you don't already subscribe to her channel, then I certainly recommend her highly. But I will stop for now, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.